Hello, good evening.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. How are you today?
Good evening, Mr. Kaiser. How are you doing? I'm all good. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm also doing well, ma'am. Thanks for asking.
Oh, that's great. I can't see your face completely, your full face. Yes, yes. Now it's fine. You'll have to adjust the angle of your camera properly.
Is it okay, ma'am?
Yeah, now it seems to be fine. Yeah, it's fine now. So, Mr. Kaiser, how has your day been so far? What have you done since morning?
Yeah, it's going really well, ma'am. I have done some things like teaching my students as well as doing my rest of works like reading, writing, listening, speaking. As I'm a learner, a day goes like this, best, ma'am.
Oh, wow. How
What
amazing
about
is.
yours?
Oh, I have had sessions since I start my first session of the day at around 9 a.m. in the morning, and since then I have been having continuous sessions till now, right? So I do have break in between the sessions, a half an hour break, 1 hour break. So that is how my days goes, right? My last session of the day is around 7 to 8 p.m., right?
Okay. So, ma'am, this is our first interaction with each other. May I know something about you, ma'am, if you don't mind?
Yes, why not? Sure. I would be more than happy to introduce myself to you. I'm Aisha. I'm from New Delhi and I'm one of the tutors or experts here at English Yari, and I have an experience of 7+ years, I would say. I have worked with different schools and institutes of New Delhi. Since pandemic, I have been working as an online English facilitator or an online English coach, you can say. Yeah, it brings me great joy and contentment when I help my learners with their communication skills, be it their fluency, pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary. This is my forte, right? When I help my learners with their problems, that is what brings me a lot of satisfaction, right? So teaching is not just a profession for me; it's passion. It's more of a passion, I would say. Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself now?
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I would love to introduce myself. This is Kaiser here. I am from Jharkhand. My city is called Bokaro Steel City. It has Asia's largest steel plant. By profession, I am an accidental English language trainer. Not by profession, but accidental. Accidental. So it's been around 3 years I have been to this field. I have got around 50 students. What I teach basic English as well as how to face irrational fears like fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged, etc. Something like that, man. I really enjoy teaching. I just want to enhance my skills in English language the way you are speaking. I really want to speak like you. I have been working on it. It's been around 2.5 years, but as I am surrounded by those people who speak basic English, that's why I'm not able to take my level of English forward.
Yes, yes. I would say that environment has a huge role to play when it comes to communication and language acquisition. We are never born with the language, we acquire it from our surroundings, right? So that's very,
Yes,
very
ma'am.
important. If you don't have that kind of environment, it is good for you to create one for yourself. Like you have created an environment for yourself by enrolling for this course, right? So that is what we
Yes,
have to.
ma'am.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
said that you are a teacher. So I would want to know, are you associated with any organization or any coaching center? How do you teach to students? Is it offline or
I
online?
this is offline as well as online. I have my own institute, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
It is a small institute where 20 students can sit. 20 students can sit. Actually, you know what, ma'am? Let me share something with you that you might have heard that most of the people say that English is something that you can learn within 3 months.
No,
So,
that's not possible.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, as far as I am concerned about a language, no language can be learned within 3 months. We have been speaking Hindi since our childhood. We don't even know how long did we take to learn English, even though we are getting Hindi environment around us. Even though we do not have information about the time that we took in order to speak our native language, how can we say about a language which environment we do not have that we can learn English? So I just spread awareness among my students that language is something that you can learn by your hard work, consistency, patience. The more you work, the better you will be. So as we are Hindi speaking people, so what happens when we try to learn English? We get fumbled, we get stuck. Sentence doesn't come in our brain frequently, and when we try to speak, people around us make fun of us. We have fear. We have fear whether we are going to speak confidently, fearlessly or not. If I make a mistake, people around me will make fun of me, will mock at me. So in this case, ma'am, in this case, I would love to know how did you start your journey in English language the way you are speaking right now? You are working as a teacher, trainer. So how did you start your journey? How long did you take to be here, the place where you are right now?
Of course, I would definitely want to answer your question, but before that, I would want to know, you said that you teach kids online or learners online. So how do you teach them online? Are you into YouTube? Like, do you have a YouTube channel? Are you a YouTuber by profession?
Yeah. Side by side, I am a YouTuber. I have my own channel, Interactive English with Kaiser.
Oh, interactive English with Kaiser, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Whenever a YouTuber joins my session, it's always good to share it. Okay. So I would like to tell now, let me answer your question, what you asked earlier. So I would like to know, I would like to tell you that I started my English learning journey because I've studied in an English medium school. So that was the time when I got introduced to this language, right? It's not that we were not allowed to speak Hindi. Of course, I used to speak in Hindi as well. But most of the communication or medium of instruction was in English, right? And after that, I did my bachelor's in science. I have my bachelor's in science, and after that I decided to go for master's in English literature, right? So I have done my master's in English literature. So that was the time when I fell in love with this language, because when you read all those great poets, their work, be it a Wordsworth, be it Shakespeare, the father of English literature, right? John Keats, lot of poets, lot of writers. So I developed a passion for this language. I thought, no, I want to do something in this. So that's after completing my masters, right? I did my masters in education, then I got into teaching. I started my career as an English language teacher, right? So I have worked, as I already told you, that I have worked in many schools and institutes of Delhi. So I have worked with different levels of learners, be it beginners, lower intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced level, right? As you already mentioned, I would like to add to it that you said that no, English, be it any language, it cannot be learned within a time span of 3 months. Whosoever is telling you that, it's a white lie, I would say. Okay. You will see hoardings, you will see hoardings written, it's written there that crash course of 3 months and you will be fluent. No, it's not like that. It takes some time. It does have different levels: beginners, intermediate, and then advanced level. So it takes some time. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So actually, you know what, ma'am? I never ever consider myself as a trainer. I always consider myself as a learner because learning has no finish line. The more you learn, the better you will be. So what I do, I just want to tell people, listen, if you really want to learn English, you have to focus on it. You have to understand pros and cons of this language and start speaking. If you are learning English, start speaking, no matter whether you are speaking right or wrong English. It is obvious when we speak a language we make a mistake. Even in my native language, when I speak in Hindi language, I make so many silly mistakes, but nobody cares. So similarly, we should speak in English language. Forget about the people who look at you that you are making a mistake or not.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. I would say more than that, it's the fear of judgment that people have, right? As you already explained, that people think, what if people mock us, they tease us, right? So it's the fear of judgment that people have in their mind. And sometimes your mind tries to play games with you. It stops you from
Yes,
speaking because it thinks that it's going to be a moment of embarrassment for you. It will bring a lot of embarrassment to you. That's why it just stops you from speaking. But believe me, the best way to deal with any kind of fear in this world is to face it. Yeah, when
absolutely.
you face it, that is the time when you overcome that problem. Yeah, so the more you face it, the better you will be. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a quote, ma'am.
Yes, yes, why not? I would like to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody has rightly said that I don't know who has said this, that face your fear, fear will disappear.
Oh wow, rhyming. Okay. Face your fear, it will disappear. Yes, true, very true.
Yeah. So, ma'am, actually, I want to ask you that during your journey, have you ever got insulted, rejected, criticized during your journey due to your weak English, due to your broken English at your initial stage?
I would say I did not speak in broken English. I never spoke in bits and pieces right from the beginning. I always strive to make grammatically correct sentences. I have always tried to learn new words, right? Because it's always good to expand your vocabulary. Because one of the biggest reasons why people are not able to speak is because of lack of vocabulary, right? So we must never ever rely on common words along with grammatical structuring of the words, and the sentences properly. You must work on your vocabulary as well. So this was something on my mind right from the beginning, because I was aiming to be a teacher. And how can you be a teacher if you don't know well? If you are not well versed with this language, you cannot teach, right? That
Yes,
too, like the standard of education here in Delhi, it's quite high, right? It's quite high, I would say, right? So that was the time when I thought to myself, I that yes, this is something I'm going to master. I will master it. I'm still mastering it. I will not say that I'm perfect, right?
yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'm on my way to perfection. Maybe someday I will be able to achieve it. But yes, uh, life is a life, life is a, I would say, it's a lifelong journey. Learning is a lifelong journey, and we must always try to learn new things and explore new things in life, right?
Yeah. Actually, why did I raise this question, ma'am? I completed my studies from Hindi medium background.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of years back, I was a welder. I used to do welding work.
Oh.
So so unfortunately, when I was in Dubai, I met with an accident.
Oh.
I was admitted to a hospital where I had to speak Arabic or English. I knew none of them. So when I came back from there, I thought to learn English. When I started learning English, I had to face a lot many difficulties. I
Mm-hmm.
knew nothing about English language. It's been around 5 years. I have been working on it. So when I started speaking in English language, I make some grammatical mistakes, pronunciation mistakes still. But in my initial stage, what happened when I started speaking in English language, as I belong to Jharkhand, so we have influence of our mother tongue. When we try to speak in English language, it has influence of our mother tongue. So in the beginning, it was much, much more than now.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting better day by day. So people used to criticize me a lot. They used to insult me a lot. They used to tell me that, Kaiser, you are not supposed to speak in English language. The way you are speaking, completely terrible. Completely terrible. I didn't listen to them. I kept working on myself. eh, around the clock. I kept working on myself around the clock. What I noticed that by the time passes, I'm getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I'm working on it. I believe that if I keep working on myself, definitely my pronunciation, my accent, the way I speak in English language will improve.
Of
If
course.
I stop working on myself, my level will stuck. That's why when I talk to somebody, I don't care whether I make a mistake or not. I just want to share my thoughts effectively as much as possible. That's what I do, man.
Great. It has been, your story is really very inspiring, I would say. It's very inspirational. Your journey has been full of struggles, full of hurdles, and eventually you are here. You have your own YouTube channel, you are teaching students, you have simultaneously you're learning as well. So, how great and amazing is that, isn't it?
Yes, man. So, during my journey, I read somewhere written that if you want to achieve something, immerse yourself into that. No matter how bad you are, what matter is how good you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Forget
True.
about your today's level. Always focus on your future, how good you want to be, and keep working on yourself. So during learning English, what I have noticed, ma'am, most of the learners, they lose their hopes.
They give
They
up
work on
soon.
it.
The moment they
Yeah,
step onto this journey, right? That is the time. After a few attempts, I mean, say after a few sessions, they give up very soon, right?
yeah. So in my class, it happens as well. They work on it 2 months, 3 months, as we have been told since childhood. English can be learned within 3 months. They believe in that blindly. They don't focus on their level. They don't focus on their work, whether they are putting efforts or not. They are working or not, but they expect to speak English within 3 months. They will spend their time here and there watching reels, watching shorts. When they get failed in interview, when they get failed in exam, that's where they think to improve their English. If there is no compulsion, if there is no urgency, they will not work on English language. That's what I have found during my journey.
Of course, of course. A never giving up attitude is what you need. You can never ever be complacent when it comes to learning new things. Sometimes we think, okay, we are perfect. I cannot improve. That's all I can do. I cannot improve further, right? So you must never ever have that kind of mindset, right? There's always
Absolutely.
something or the other thing to learn.
Yeah. So we are learner. We have to learn throughout our life. What I believe that as I have started learning English, I have to learn till my last breath.
Yes, 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 yes. We can say we learn from our cradle to this deathbed. So we keep on
Absolutely.
learning, we keep growing, isn't it?
So, as as I work as a trainer, even though I make 2 or 3 hours to work on myself, I never ever waste my time here and there. Ma'am, whether you believe or not, when I started learning English, I knew only hi, how are you, what are you doing,
Mm-hmm,
something like that. I
mm-hmm,
didn't know more than these sentences, but I had a burning desire in the beginning. No, anyhow, I have to work on this language. Why most of the people are not able to speak in English language? I just wanted to know. So when I started working on it, I got to know so many things about this language. I
mm-hmm.
believe that English is 10 times easier than our native language. At initial stage, initial stage, you might have to struggle. You might have to face some criticism, insults. People may insult you, but if you promise to yourself, no, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. I will keep working on myself. Sooner
Mm-hmm.
or later, your level will grow automatically.
Of course.
You will see a drastic change in you.
Yes, for sure. I'm sure that you have been motivating so many people around you, whether it be on whether it be your YouTube subscribers or your learners who you have been teaching offline as well. So yes, you keep motivating. That is how you learn. When you exchange information with each other, you interact with each other. That is how you grow. It's actually you are uplifting each other in this journey, right? So it's better to connect with more and more number of people, and particularly with the ones who know better than you, right? So I'm not
Yes,
saying that
ma'am.
not connect with other learners. Of course, you can connect with them, but it's only a professional. I would say an expert can give you the right kind of guidance, right? So they can tell you
Yes.
where are you lacking, what kind of help you need, what are a few lacunas that are present in your speech. Is it grammar, is it fluency, is it vocabulary, is it pronunciation, right? Sometimes it can be placement of words, because most of the times what most of the learners do, they think in their mother tongue, then they translate it into English. I think that is the biggest mistake that they make. Yeah. So when it
Abs-
comes to learning, we have to follow a direct approach. That means the thinking,
Yes.
we have a voice in our head, we think in our mind. Sometimes it's very loud thinking, so that loud thinking has to be in English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, ma'am.
So never
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
go for translation method. If you will go for translation method, you will always commit mistakes.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, 90% of people in India think in their native language and try to translate into English, ma'am. This is
Hmm.
the harsh reality. So language, suppose in case of speaking our native language, we don't translate. We only share our thoughts, feelings, emotions.
Hmm.
Same goes to English language. When you speak in English language, forget about your mistakes, what you are making. By the time passes, you will get to know everything, which aspect of English you are supposed to work on. If you are translating your native language to English language, you will not have time to think about your mistakes because the translating will take time. During my class, I notice as well that most of my students do the same. I always suggest them, listen, don't try to translate Hindi to English. It will not help you. If you really want to speak in English language, speak up as much as possible. The more you speak, the better you will be.
That is the only mantra that you can follow. Practice, practice, and practice. Practice makes everybody perfect, right? So this is the
Yes,
only follow
ma'am.
a direct approach, a practical approach when it comes to acquisition of language, right? So work on different aspects of speaking, fluency, as already discussed, fluency, pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. These are the four domains where you have to work and put in lot of efforts, right? Other than that, along with speaking, reading, listening, watching some content in English, this is what most of the language experts emphasize on. I'm sure that till now many experts would have suggested you this thing, right? So it works. It actually,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It works. Yeah. In the beginning, when I started reading a book, ma'am, I used to feel sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get sleep, but what I did that the moment I used to feel sleepy, when I used to feel sleepy, I started reading book. While reading book, I went to sleep.
You were able to put yourself to sleep while reading a book. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Can work.
Yes,
Can work. Nowadays, most of the people they sleep while watching their mobile phones, while watching videos. I think it's better than that, isn't it? Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Casser, it was such an enriching experience to have this session with you, and I was so happy to know that you have come a long way, right? And there are miles
Thank
to
you.
go. There are miles to
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
right? Endless. As I
Yes, ma'am.
already discussed, that learning is a lifelong journey. It's not a destination. Okay, and yeah, shall I proceed to the feedback now?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, please go ahead.
So I would say that you could speak very well, you could deliver your ideas very well, you try to maintain a good flow of conversation. Okay, the grammatical errors, there were no gross or serious grammatical errors, but I believe the choice of words and the quality of sentences can be better, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when it comes to pronunciation, you must go for voice modulation and
Yes,
intonation.
ma'am.
Yeah, there is a slight mti mother tongue influence. I'm sure that you know how to overcome it. Okay, by
Yes.
watching whosoever you think speaks well, you know whom you admire, follow that person, right? Watch a few videos, try to see how they pronounce the words. This is the best way to
Yes.
overcome this problem, right? Other than
Yes.
that, think that you are doing great, and there are 100% chances that you will be able to achieve it. Yet you have a
Thank
great
you.
potential and you have good presence of mind. Okay, so that's all I would
Okay,
say.
thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the session. It was nice meeting
Oh,
you.
thank you very much. Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed, man. Okay,
Bye
bye
bye.
bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay, so same to you, man.
Thank you.